Hello friends, welcome to Patalgal English Academy and Banshankar English Academy. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇವತ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ನಿಂದ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿವೆ. 2026ದಲ್ಲಿ ರಿವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರಲ್ಲ ಅವು. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ PUCಗೆ ಟೋಟಲಿ 14 ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅದಾವೆ. ಈ 14 ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ 4 ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. 4 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, 3 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ 4 ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಬರುವಂಥ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಯಾವುವು? ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಜೂಲಿಯೆಟ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಆನ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ಐ ಲರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಪೋಯಮ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಇವಷ್ಟೇ. ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಈ ಬ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರಿಂಟು ಬರೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲೇ ನಾನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನು ಯಾವ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ ಆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇವತ್ತು. ಬರ್ರಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಐತೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಜೂಲಿಯೆಟ್ ಪೋಯಮ್. ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 14 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳದಾವ್ರಿ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಜೂಲಿಯೆಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳೇ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1, ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಎನಿ 2 ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಟು ವಿಚ್ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಜೂಲಿಯೆಟ್ in Romeo and Juliet. Comparison or images: 1, a rich jewel in an Ethiopian's ear. Second, a snowy dove among crows. Second, mention any 2 expressions that Juliet uses to glorify Romeo's charm in Romeo and Juliet. As the day and night, he could lie upon the wings of night. He was like a new snow on a raven's back. Third question, who are compared to a snowy dove and crows respectively in Romeo and Juliet? Answer, Juliet is compared to a snowy dove. Juliet fellow dancers are compared to crows. Number 4, mention any 2 qualities of night according to Juliet in Romeo and Juliet. It is gentle and loving. It is black-browed. What does the entire world start doing and stop doing according to Juliet if Romeo becomes stars? Answer, the entire world would start to fall in love with the night. The entire world would stop to pay worship to the garish sun. Sixth, what are the 2 things that Romeo intends to do after the measure? Watch Juliet's place of stand, touch Juliet's hand and make his own rough hand blessed. Seventh, who would fall in love with the night and what would they stop worshipping? All the world or the people of the whole world would fall in love with the night. They would stop worshipping the garish sun. Mention any 2 expressions that Juliet uses to glorify Romeo's charm in Romeo and Juliet. As the day and night, he could lie upon the wings of night. He was like a new snow on a raven's back. Ninth, name any 2 birds mentioned in Romeo and Juliet. Dove, ಸ್ನೋ ವೈಟ್ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರೋಸ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರಾವಣ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬರ್ಡೂ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಎನಿ ಟೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಟೂ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೊಟ್ಟೇನೆ. ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು 10th ಕ್ವಶನ್. ನೇಮ್ ಎನಿ ಟೂ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಶೇಕ್ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಯೂಸಸ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಜೂಲಿಯಟ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ. ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಇಮೇಜಸ್, ರಿಚ್ ಜುವೆಲ್, ಸ್ನೋ ವಿಡೋ and burning torch. It can also be said. Three things can be picked up from the poem which can be used to, which are used as bright images. 11th, mention any two dark images Shakespeare uses in his poem. Black-browed night, Ravan, crows, Ethiop. One more image is there. Yes, going to 12th. When would Romeo watch Juliet's place of stand and how would his rude hand be blessed? Romeo would watch Juliet after dance was over. His rude hand would be blessed when it touched or they touched Juliet's hands. Last, who would make the face of heaven so fine and how would it occur? According to Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, Romeo would make the face of heaven so fine. She imagines that, she means Juliet imagines that after her death, Romeo is cut into little stars and would make the face of heaven so beautiful. ಇದು questions from questions on poem Romeo and Juliet. And on 2 dear, 2 more questions are not there. Coming to on children. Yes, this is also a poem by Khalil Gibran. 2 more questions. Question number 1. What are the 2 reasons given by the prophet to say your children are not your children? They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They may come through you but not from you. And we can give one more. Though they are living with you, yet they do not belong to you. Second question. What parents may give, what may parents give one and what may not, what may they not? Parents may give their love but not their thoughts. Third question. According to on children, what may parents not give children according to the prophet and why? Parents may not give their thoughts because children have their own thoughts. Fourth, according to the prophet and on children, what parents may house at what may they not? Question is repeated. No. I'm sorry. This question is not repeated. What can be given and what cannot be given? Love can be given, thoughts cannot be given. But this question is different. According to prophet on children, what parents may house and what may they not? Parents may house the bodies of children but not their souls. Question number 5. Who are the arrows and who sends them forward? Children are the arrows, and arrows are sent from the bow and by the archer. Number 6. What do bows and arrows refer to in the poem on children? Bows refer to parents and arrows refer to children. 7th. According to the prophet in on children, who bends the bow and why? God or archer bends the bow, so that his arrows or children may go swift and far. 8th. In on children, who sees the mark upon the path of the night? Why does he bend bow with his might? The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite and bends the bow with his might to send the arrows swiftly and far towards his mark. 9th. Who are the arrows and who sends them forward? Children are the arrows. Questions are sometimes repeated. Children are the arrows and they are sent from the arrows by the archer. 10th question. In on children, the poet says, and though they are with you, yet they do not belong to you. Who do the words they and you refer to? They refers to children, you refers to parents. Who is holding a babe against her bosom, and to whom is she asking to speak about children? A woman is holding a babe against her bosom and asks the prophet to speak to them about children. 12th, who is holding a babe against the bosom, and what is she asking the prophet? A woman is holding a babe against her bosom and she is asking the prophet to speak about children. 13th question, according to the speaker of on children, what type of arrow and what type of bow does the God love? God loves the arrow that flies swift and far, and the bow that is stable and strong. Where does the archer, actually in the textbook stable itself is there, strong is not found, it is an addition by me. 14th question, where does the archer see the mark? Whom does he bend with all his might to send the arrows to swift and far? The archer sees the mark where? Upon the path of the infinite, and bends the bow, the parents, with all his might to send the arrow swift and far. I think the questions are ended of this poem. Going to next, on children, everything I need to know I learned in the forest. Idr ಮೇಲೆ ಐತಿ last water poem. Everything I need to know I learned in the forest. Okay, that lesson comes now. Two more questions are asked. Yes, once again I would like to confirm, friends. Yes, two more questions will be there from this unit. Let's see the questions. What were the parents of Vandana Shiva? Her father was a forest conservator and mother was a farmer. What is Chipko movement? Women from which region participated in it according to Vandana Shiva? Chipko movement is a non-violent response to large-scale deforestation. Women from Garhwal region of the Himalaya participated in it. According to Vandana Shiva, who knew the value of forests? What did they do to protect forests? Women knew the values of forests. They hugged the trees and the loggers would have to kill them before killing the trees. Fourth question. What is the real value of forests according to women involved in Chipko movement? According to the women, the real value of the forests was the springs and streams, food for their cattle and fuel for their horse. Fifth, what did Vandana Shiva do while she was on Padayatras of Chipko movement? She documented deforestation and the work of forest activists and helped spread the message of the Chipko movement. Sixth, what did Vandana Shiva learn from Chipko movement? Answer, she learned about the biodiversity and biodiversity-based living economies. Seventh, in Navadanya farm, how did Vandana Shiva and other activists help farmers? They helped farmers a transition to teach. They helped farmers to teach a transition from fossil fuel and chemical-based monocultures to biodiverse ecological systems nourished by the sun and the soil. Ille sun anta agಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇದು, the sun and soil. Eighth, what did biodiversity teach Vandana Shiva? What did she learn from biodiversity? It taught her abundance, freedom, cooperation, and mutual giving. Ninth, name the two popular courses in Earth University. The A to Z of organic farming and agroecology and Gandhi and globalization. 10th, name any two pairs of conflicts about which Tagore wrote. Greed and compassion, conquest and cooperation, and violence and harmony. Any two of these. 11th, what were the songs and poems about which Vandana Shiva's mother composed? They were about trees, forests, and India's forest civilizations. 12th, why did Vandana Shiva decide to become a volunteer for the Chipko movement? In 1973, she had gone to visit her favorite forest and swim in her favorite stream before before going ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕೆನಡಾ to do her PhD, but forests were gone and the stream was reduced to a small trickle. She wanted to protect them, one line ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ. She wanted to protect them, therefore she became the volunteer of Chipko movement. 13th question. Who is Rabindranath Tagore and what is he inspired? What is inspired by him? According to Vandana Shiva, Tagore is India's national poet and a Nobel Prize laureate. The Earth University is inspired by him. 14th, who started Shantiniketana and where? Rabindranath Tagore started Shantiniketana in West Bengal. 15th, what did Vandana Shiva learn from Chipko movement? Already it has come, I think. She has learned about biodiversity and biodiversity based living economies. Name the two popular courses. This question is completed already. Which are the two trees or plants mentioned in the folk song quoted by Vandana Shiva in her essay? The oak trees, the rhododendron. These are the trees. ಒಂದು poem stanza ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಟ್ರೀಸು. 18th question. According to women of Advani, quoted by Vandana Shiva, what do the forest bear? Mentioned any two things. Forests bear soil, cool water, and pure air, the basis of life. 19th, which are the two major crops conserved by Navadanya farm of Vandana Shiva? Rice and wheat. Answer. 20th, the joy of living begins with the end of which? Two things, according to Vandana Shiva. The end of consumerism and accumulation. 21st, when did Vandana Shiva go to Canada and why? Answer, she went to Canada in 1973 to do her PhD. 22nd, according to Vandana Shiva, when did the dramatic Chipko Act take place? When? Yes, when? Place in the Himalayan village of Advani. And name the village woman who participated in it. It took place, it means Chipko movement, that Chipko dramatic movement. ಅದು ವಂದನಾ ಶಿವ ಇವರು ಯಾರವರು ಬಚನಿ ದೇವಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳ ಆಕೆದಿದ್ದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಂತಾರ ಇಟ್ ಟುಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇನ್ 1977 in the village of Advani, and the woman who led it was Bachani Devi against her own husband. 23rd, who started Navadanya farm and where? According to Vandana Shiva. Vandana Shiva started Navadanya farm in the Doon Valley, Uttarakhand, Himalayas. 24th, why did Vandana Shiva start Navadanya movement? Vandana Shiva started Navadanya movement to conserve biodiversity and to promote organic farming. Name the South African environmentalist mentioned in Vandana Shiva's essay and what is apartheid according to him. Nelson Mandela. Apartheid means this is wrong, friend. Not a Nelson Mandela. No. He is Cormac Cullinan. ಪೆನ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರೀತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕೊಲಿನನ್, ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಸೌತ್ ಆಫ್ರಿಕನ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕೊಲಿನನ್. ಅಪಾರ್ಥೈಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ is also yes, separatism. Yes. Apartheid means separatism. Apartheid means separatism. ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, racial apartheid is put behind us. Today the whole world is facing a wider and deeper apartheid, that is eco-apartheid, separating man from nature. What is apartheid and eco-apartheid according to Vandana Shiva? Apartheid means racial separation. Eco-apartheid means is the separation of human beings from nature. Okay. Coming to 27th. What was Shantiniketana and when did it become a university? Shantiniketana was an experimental school founded by Tagore International University, or it became a university in 1921. Name the essay written by Rabindranath Tagore and what does its title mean? Essay written by Rabindranath Tagore is a Tapovana. It means the forest of purity or the forest of spiritual practice. 29th. According to Rabindranath Tagore, what does the forest symbolize and what does it teach? According to Rabindranath Tagore, forest symbolizes the universe and it teaches us union and compassion. 30th. According to Vandana Shiva, what has become her life's mission? To protect biodiversity and promote sustainable living through earth democracy has become her life's mission. To protect and biodiversity. When were ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೋ ಬಂದಂಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತೈತೆ ನನಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬಂದಂಗೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಬೇರೆ ಹಾಕಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. When were ನವಧಾನ್ಯ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನವಧಾನ್ಯ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ವಂದನಾ ಶಿವ. ನವಧಾನ್ಯ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ 7 years ಮುಂಚೆ, ನವಧಾನ್ಯ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇದು Navadanya movement was started in 1987. Navadanya farm was started in 1994. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ರೈಸ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೀಟ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. 100 ಸೀಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿ ಅನಂತರ 7 years ಕಳೆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಂದೆ ದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ಲಿ ನೀಡೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಟು ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ biodiversity. Therefore, at last they started in the 1994 Navadanya farm in Doon Valley. ಇದು ಮುಗಿದ ನಂತರ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಪಂಪ್. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೇನೋ ಭಾಳ ಮಾಡೀನಿ, ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಬ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಬಂದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ಎಸ್, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಪಂಪ್ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್. Water. 2 more questions. Mention the 2 things that water knows in the poem Water. Water knows ground's incline and it knows the generation's old strife. Who must wait near the well all day and why? The Panchama waits near the well all the day. He has no right to draw a pot of water from the public well, so he must wait until a Shudra arrives to pour water into his pot. Who opposed Kamma landlords? What did she use to oppose them in water? Karamachadu Suvartama or Munnangi Suvartama opposed Kamma landlords. She used water pot to oppose them. Between whom the difference of race could water identify in the poem Race? Between the Samaria woman and Jesus the Jew. Between leather and spool. Question number 5. Which is the mighty moment mentioned in the poem Water? Where did it happen? The mighty moment mentioned in this poem is the Mahad struggle. It happened at the Chadar tank. Question number 6. Between whom water can ignite struggles and strife according to the poet in poem Water. Between one state and another, water disputes. Between the village and the Vada. 7th. Where does the water sit innocently? Where does it dance into? In the poem Water. Water sits innocently in a Bisleri bottle. It dances its way into Pepsi Man's bottle. 8th. Where does water slowly and surreptitiously dance its way into? What is its new name? Water slowly and surreptitiously dances its way into the Pepsi Man's bottle. Its new name is mineral water. 9th. Which village was burnt to ashes as mentioned in the poem Water? Why? The village that was burnt to ashes was Malpale. It was burnt for want of a pot of water. 10th. Where does mineral water take to? Where does mineral water take to and what does it rise? What does it raise in the poem Water? Mineral water takes to the skies. It raises a storm. 11th question. What is not a mean matter in the poem Water? What does it become according to the poet? What is not a mean matter in the water? What does it become? Water is not a mean matter. Not simply H2O. What does it become? It has become a multinational market commodity. Okay. 12th. What can sit innocently in the poem Water? Where can it sit? Water can sit innocently. Where can it sit? It can sit innocently in a Bisleri bottle. Yes. According to the speaker of the poem Water, who has to wait with his empty pot near the well until a Shudra arrives. Why? Agidare question adre. The Panchama has to wait with his empty pot. He has no right to draw a pot of water from the public well, and he must wait until a Shudra arrives to pour water into his pot. 14th. Who is a Panchama and why does he wait near the well as described in Water? Panchama is a person who belongs to the 5th category in the Varna system. Google search ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ದೇನ್ರಿ. Poem ದೇನ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲದು. He has no right to draw a pot of water from the public well and must wait until a Shudra arrives to pour water into his pot. 15th. Mention two things that the poet of Water remember that the poet of the Water remembers about her people when she sees water. The poet remembers how they welcomed their weekly bath. She remembers how Malpale burned to ashes for want of a pot of water. 16th. What does the water do to villages according to the poem Water? Water became a killer tsunami wave. Water swallowed the whole village after village. What does it do to the village? It swallowed whole village after village. 17th. What does water ignite between one state and another? Water can ignite many struggles and strife. It can make blood run in streams. 18th and the last. What does water ignite between the village and the Vada? Water ignites many struggles and strife. Okay friend, thank you for watching. ನಾಳೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸತನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೈವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತೇನೆ 8 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. Thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow.